everyone, my name is Daniela and I'm a volunteer with For a Safer Space. Today's presentation is on sleep disorders and mental health. I would like to begin this presentation with a land acknowledgement. I am conducting this presentation on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island. While it is important to acknowledge which land I'm on, it is equally as important to understand why we engage in a land acknowledgement. First, acknowledging the land is an act of decolonization. Decolonization is an act that aims to reverse colonialism. It is also significant in understanding history and acknowledging history, as well as showing respect for indigenous peoples and their relationship to the land. However, it is important to not only use the land acknowledgement, but to educate ourselves on historical and current issues, stand with indigenous peoples in the pursuit of social justice, and decolonize our thoughts and actions. Today's agenda will include a brief introduction, followed by what are sleep disorders, types of sleep disorders, impacts of insufficient sleep, sleep disorders and mental health, statistics, risk factors, warning signs, treatment, misconceptions about sleep disorders, coping with sleep disorders, supporting a client, and to conclude, resources and key takeaways will be discussed. Sleep disorders are conditions that impact sleep or stop an individual from getting restful sleep, which can result in daytime sleepiness or other symptoms. Sleep disorders can increase the difficulties one may face with their mental health. Similarly, poor mental health can play a role in the development of sleep disorders. However, there are steps that can be taken to both improve sleep and mental health as a result. What are sleep disorders? Sleep disorders are conditions that impact sleep or stop an individual from getting restful sleep, which can result in daytime sleepiness or other symptoms. Anyone can face challenges around sleeping occasionally. However, for those who have a sleep disorder, they may experience regular challenges with sleeping, be continuously tired throughout the day, even if the individual has gotten at least 7 hours of sleep the night prior, and may have a limited ability to complete normal activities throughout the day. Sleep is critical for various reasons, and if not getting enough quality sleep, it can have severe consequences. This next section will discuss types of sleep disorders. As there are over 80 sleep disorders, this section will cover the top ones, including insomnia, sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, and narcolepsy. Insomnia. Insomnia is a sleep disorder where individuals face challenges falling or staying asleep. Individuals living with insomnia may experience the following symptoms: challenges falling asleep. They may commonly awake throughout the night with difficulties falling back asleep. They may wake up too early in the morning. Sleep may not be sufficient or refreshing, and they may have at least one daytime challenge, which can include fatigue, sleepiness, issues with mood, concentration, accidents at work or while driving, among others that result from insufficient sleep. Insomnia can be occasional or chronic, as well as it can be prevalent on its own or due to a physical or mental health condition. Short-term or acute insomnia can be the result of life stressors, an illness, or environmental factors. Long-term or chronic insomnia, on the other hand, can be the result of depression, chronic stress and pain, or discomfort at night. As well, it can be the result of conditioned emotional responses, such as thinking negatively about sleep and behaviors that form around the sleep challenges, such as sleeping in or napping, or thinking while in bed. Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea can become serious as it occurs when individuals' breathing is interrupted while sleeping. There are two types of sleep apnea: obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, and central sleep apnea, or CSA. Obstructive sleep apnea is more common and the result of a blockage in the airway. It may result in snoring, daytime sleepiness, fatigue, restlessness during sleep, gasping for air during sleep, and difficulties concentrating. Central sleep apnea is where the airway is not blocked, but the brain does not tell the body to breathe and is connected to the function of the central nervous system. Those with CSA may gasp for air, but mainly experience waking up repeatedly throughout the night. While sleep apnea does impact sleep, it can also impact mental health. For instance, there is a heightened risk for the development of anxiety and depression. Due to the connection sleep can have to depression and the stress that sleep apnea can cause, research has shown that sleep apnea can cause depression in some. As well, due to the impacts that sleep apnea has on oxygen supplies to the brain, it can change the way the brain functions, which can increase the risks of developing depression. Furthermore, there can be a heightened risk for anxiety due to the stress that may come from the breathing challenges itself. Additionally, as sleep deprivation can play a role in the development of anxiety and depression, it can result in the development and persistence of these mental health disabilities. Restless leg syndrome. Restless leg syndrome, or RLS, can result in intense and irresistible needs to move the legs. This can begin by resting in various ways, such as lying down in bed or in situations that lead to sitting for long periods of time. RLS often occurs during the evening, which can increase the challenges of falling and staying asleep. As well, it is correlated to difficulties with daytime sleepiness, irritability, and concentration. It is common that those with RLS will want to walk around or shake their legs to minimize the discomfort. Narcolepsy. Narcolepsy is a neurological condition that impacts the ability to control sleep and wakefulness. Individuals with this sleep disorder have intense daytime sleepiness and intermittent, uncontrollable episodes of falling asleep during the day. This can occur during any activity or time of the day. Some individuals may experience sudden muscle weakness with laughter or other emotions. This condition typically begins from 15 to 25 years of age, but it can occur at any age. However, it is quite common that narcolepsy is undiagnosed and left untreated as a result. Impacts of insufficient sleep. Insufficient sleep can impact individuals beyond just feeling tired. Sleepiness impacts cognitive function, which can result in learning disabilities among children, memory impairment in individuals of all ages, alterations in personality, and depression. Additionally, a lack of sleep can result in challenges with decision-making, irritability, performance difficulties, and slower reaction times. Slower reaction times can also increase the risk of accidents while driving or in the workplace. Finally, sleep deprivation can impact life by playing a role in the development of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Sleep disorders and mental health. As discussed, sleep and mental health are linked. Sleep deprivation can impact one's psychological state and mental health. As well, those living with mental health disabilities are more at risk to have insomnia and other sleep disorders. For instance, difficulties with sleeping is common in those with anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. Individuals with ADHD, for example, are at a heightened risk for also having restless leg syndrome. Additionally, it is evident that a lack of sleep can worsen pre-existing mental health disabilities. Finally, sleep deprivation can also trigger the development of mental health disabilities for those who already display other risks, as is the case with anxiety disorders. Next, we will look over statistics to see how many people are impacted by challenges around sleeping. It is estimated that 50 to 70 million adults in the United States have a sleep disorder. As well, about 37% of those 20 to 39 years of age state that they experience short sleep duration. Similarly, 40% of those 49 to 59 years of age have similar short sleep duration. Finally, 35.3% of adults state that they get less than 7 hours of sleep within a 24-hour period. Risk factors. There can be various risk factors that result in sleep disorders, including physical risk factors, which can include ulcers, medical risk factors such as asthma, psychiatric, including various mental health disabilities, environmental factors such as the use of substances, working a night shift, which can alter what is known as the biological clock, genetics, as is the case with narcolepsy, medications that impact sleep, and aging. The ties to aging are unknown, whether it is due to aging itself or the result of medications commonly used. Warning signs. There are also some common warning signs that one may have a sleep disorder, which can include falling asleep while driving, having challenges with staying awake when not active. This can include times when one is watching television or reading, challenges with attention or concentration in various environments, challenges with performance in school or work. Others may point out that the individual looks sleepy or tired. Someone may have slowed responses, challenges controlling emotions, and may need to take naps often. Treatment. There are several different treatment options that are recommended for sleep disorders, and it will differ based off of unique circumstances. Some options include counseling. Individuals will acknowledge, challenge, and alter stress-inducing thoughts that impact their sleep. Medications or supplements. Practicing good sleep hygiene, which can include keeping a regular sleep schedule and sleep routines, exercising regularly, limiting noise and light, keeping track of temperatures to ensure comfort, and in cases where there is a pre-existing mental health condition, it can be beneficial to take steps to cope and manage the condition, as sleeping can then improve. Misconceptions about sleep disorders. There are various misconceptions surrounding sleep disorders, and we'll take a couple of minutes to deconstruct them. This is an important step in better understanding sleep disorders and deconstructing the stigma, as these misconceptions can spread misinformation and stereotype individuals. The first misconception is sleep disorders have no correlation to other health conditions. This is untrue. As established, sleep disorders are related to other health conditions. Sleep disorders can increase the risk of developing certain mental health conditions. Likewise, mental health conditions can result in sleep disorders. As well, sleep disorders can be the result of medications such as some antidepressants. This can be harmful as without understanding if a pre-existing condition is resulting in the sleep disorder, it can be difficult to effectively manage the challenges one faces with sleeping. You can cheat the amount of sleep you have. This is untrue. There is no way to cheat the amount of sleep that one gets. This can have serious consequences as sleep deprivation can result in mood difficulties such as with anger, anxiety, or irritability. As well, deprivation can result in alterations in brain regions on a physical and biological level. Another misconception is daytime sleepiness is the result of not getting enough sleep. Depending on the disorder and the circumstances around the disorder, it may not necessarily mean the individual is not getting enough sleep. It could be due to not getting enough quality sleep or due to the disorders that result in excessive daytime sleepiness. Finally, it is better to stay in bed when struggling to sleep. Sometimes it can actually be better to leave bed. Having consistent routines around sleeping can be beneficial. However, it can do more harm than good to stay in bed when wide awake. This is because it creates an association in the space with wakefulness. Instead, it is best to break this association by leaving bed when not tired. Coping with sleep disorders. There are various ways to cope with sleep disorders and to cope with mental health when impacted by sleep. Individual methods of coping will differ, but there are some ways that individuals can improve and cope with sleep disorders. The first being to plan out an optimal sleep environment. This could be by ensuring that the bedroom is comfortable, cool, quiet, and dark. Some individuals find it beneficial to use background sounds like white noise machines or earplugs, as well as sleep masks or blackout curtains. Aim to think positive when going to bed. This can be difficult, especially facing challenges with sleep. However, it can be important. Having negative thoughts around sleeping can worsen sleep disorders and the quality of sleep one gets. Aiming to avoid thoughts like, if I don't get enough sleep now, I won't be able to get through tomorrow, can help. Aim to clear your mind prior to bedtime. This can include writing down your thoughts or creating to-do lists hours before sleeping, which can be beneficial for those who tend to overthink at night. Create regular routines. Routines around sleeping will differ per individual. However, it can include various relaxing activities to decompress from the day and ensuring that the time one goes to sleep and wakes up is at the same time every day. And finally, exercise regularly. Exercise prior to 4 hours before sleep can be beneficial in helping individuals fall and stay asleep. Supporting a client. There are various ways that practitioners can support clients based on individual needs, but there are a few key ways that can be beneficial in assisting them in working to improve their sleep. Help them to create sleep rituals. Assisting them in creating strong sleep routines can be beneficial, especially if they do not know where to start. As well, it can help them feel as though they have support in trying to improve their sleep. Remind them of the importance of proper sleep. In a fast-paced world, it can be easy to get distracted or put sleep to the side to get things done, especially when driven by stress. However, it is important to remind clients that in the long run, it is more beneficial to get sleep and stick to a routine as it won't harm them over time. Now we'll go over resources. The most important thing to take away from this video is that there are supports and help available. For an immediate mental health crisis, reach out to a crisis line for support. For non-immediate mental health support, a useful resource is For a Safer Space. For a Safer Space is a nonprofit that offers accessible and inclusive mental health care. Visit the website for more information if you would like to reach out for support. To conclude this video, we will go over some key takeaways. Sleep disorders are conditions that impact sleep or stop an individual from getting restful sleep, which can result in daytime sleepiness or other symptoms. There are over 80 sleep disorders, with the most common including insomnia, sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, and narcolepsy. Insufficient sleep can have varying adverse impacts on individuals and increase the risks of unsafe situations. Similarly, sleep disorders have a direct link to mental health, as it can result in poor mental health or be the result of mental health disabilities. There are various risk factors and warning signs for sleep disorders. However, there are treatment options available that can assist in managing sleep disorders. Options will differ based on the individual and their circumstances. There are several misconceptions about sleep disorders, which can perpetuate misinformation and stigma. There are steps individuals can take to cope with sleep disorders and improve their sleep routines. Finally, practitioners can support clients in varying ways, especially by assisting them with their sleep routines. That concludes this presentation on sleep disorders and mental health. Thank you for watching.